How is everybody doing on this wonderful day? On this Wednesday, we are middle of the week, hump day, for many of us at least. Good morning and good afternoon or evening, depending where you are in the world, as we will be getting started soon. We got some exciting stuff too. And we are just about to go live. What's up, fam bam? What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're unfamiliar with who I am, I'm Chris Mizo. We talk about PC and tech, and of course, if you haven't heard the latest news, for anybody that owns G.Skill RAM, let me know down in the chat. Would love to know if you have some G.Skill RAM. Currently, they do have a case that is going, well, sort of going. It's pretty much kind of found its conclusion at this point. If you've owned any G.Skill RAM that requires any type of Expo or XMP, which is kind of ridiculous, I gotta say, in my opinion, because especially for those who say purchase 6,000 megahertz of RAM, or anybody that purchases 6400 or so on, or whichever overclocking RAM kit that you choose, that the court actually found the proceedings for G.Skill that they were in a violation, that they were advertising at full speeds. As you all know, when it comes to RAM, as if you get like a brand new kit for, say, AMD or for Intel, once you install the RAM, you have to put it into either XMP, or you have to put it into Expo Profile in order for those speeds to be to actually reach those type of speeds. Unfortunately, they lost their case for them. So for anyone that wants to join in on this class action lawsuit, which is, again, a pretty ridiculous case, because G.Skill's not going to be the only RAM company out there that is going to run into this issue. It's pretty much all RAM companies for any advertised speed that's well over either 4800 megahertz or over the 2100 megahertz, depending if you have DDR4 or DDR5 RAM. So either kit, that is the current class action going on. And another thing I certainly would love to explain to everybody in here is also there is a case that is going on with the stagnation. If you guys haven't heard or haven't paid attention to any of the pricing currently, when it comes to PC hardware, all the pricing has actually kind of stagnated from today's standpoint. Or even if you checked it last week, it's been on hold for the most part. So it's not the greatest news, but it is something. It is holding at its current placement. So I'm going to go into the browser to show everybody out there, to show you what it's currently looking like when it comes to the RAM charts. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So when we take a look here at the RAM, you're going to notice, let me move this over for you guys so you can see this a bit better here. So, all right, let's see. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to move it right here for you guys, and for you guys on the vertical side, there you go, so you guys can see it. Now, this is the DDR4 speed. That is enough speed, the DDR4 pricing that is currently going on with the charts. So if you are planning to purchase from Micro Center or Newegg, this is like the average pricing, whether you are planning to get it through, if you're trying to get it through either Micro Center, or if you're trying to get it through, say, Newegg or Amazon, this is going to be the average pricing. So for DDR4, that is at 3000 megahertz, which is pretty low for the most part, and something you don't really see too often. Just to give you an indication of how expensive the pricing currently is, it's priced at around $270 at current pricing. Now, this pricing, if you take a really good look at this chart here, if you take a look a bit closer here, it started from about January. What's up, Fart Club Granny? Welcome in. So I gotta say, if you take a look, it kind of like started from like about January. Then that's when that spike happened. The reason why the spike happened in January 2026 is because the demand of DDR5 has went through the roof. So people resorted to go to places such as DDR4 in order to purchase some RAM at somewhat of a affordable price. So unfortunately, because of the popularity of purchasing RAM, it obviously caused a spike, which unfortunately had ended up from going under roughly about $160, which is still quite expensive for a kit like this, to spike up all the way up to 270, and now it's been kind of holding up at this point. Now, if we take a look at a more common kit for DDR4 that most people do end up getting, whether if you're getting AMD or if you're getting for Intel, this is going to be, what's up, Simplicity? Good to see you. If you take a look here, they've also faced some issues. Of course, it's not as crazy looking as it is compared to 3000 megahertz of RAM. But if you take a look here, when it comes to DDR4, for 3200 megahertz, a more common kit that most people end up coming in for, you'll notice that it goes from, again, it starts from January because the popularity of DDR4 spikes again. So as soon as January came in, people said DDR5 is too expensive. I want to go ahead and get an AM4 kit instead, or I want to go with Intel's, I want to go with Alder Lake because it's still 12th generation. I still could build off of the DDR4 platform. So let's go ahead and purchase that. But unfortunately, because of that, it went from about $200 all the way up to close about to $260, which is a large spike for DDR4. Now, most importantly, the RAM that everyone certainly does pay attention to is going to be DDR5, especially for you new builders out there. I know the availability for finding AM4 boards will be there currently, but it's getting less and less popular. And because of that, it's going to be a lot harder to get AM4 boards since they don't really produce them as much. Most people who do purchase AM4 boards are mostly purchasing because of old new stock. So for those new PC builders out there, or if you're looking to upgrade your RAM for any type of reason, for example, if you were starting from Intel's Alder Lake platform, you're going off a DDR5 of 5200 megahertz, which was a really common number right before the whole shortage. So Simplicity says from 32 gigabytes of DDR5 to 93 in a year. And after it's 344 more in total, 437 in total, absolutely. So Dusty Feathers 1966 says, I scored a 4 by 8 gigabyte Samsung B-Die DDR4 kit right before the spike, $86 for all 4 sticks, 2 16 gigabytes for gaming builds with the fastest DDR4. Now it is about 120-ish, which is absolutely insane. King Claus, today is the yes. And unfortunately for anybody, for the Lightning, it's mostly a lottery pick. I'm curious if anybody out there currently is in line to be able to purchase one of these MSI Lightnings. It would be quite amazing if anyone did get their hands on it. If you're familiar with our Discord here, you all know that Takuma, he actually ended up picking up an ASUS ROG Matrix RTX 5090, which is insane. MVG, what's going on? It's been a while. It's good to see you in here. So speaking of RAM pricing, once we look into about the month of December here. Once we look into the month of December here, the pricing was average about a little bit over $400 per kit. And then once it goes into January, we're looking at the pricing and it's going roughly about $440 to $450 for this kit. And then it kind of stagnates at this point where it's at pretty much at like $450 to $460. So yeah, believe it or not, it's pretty odd. I can remember most people coming in. For the most of the time, I'm pretty good when it comes to names and everything. Whoever comes in, so if I hope I remember everybody coming in, but I do my best to, of course, make everyone feel that they are part of the community. So, what are your thoughts about this whole DDR5 here? How it's currently holding? As if you look at this chart currently, Takuma collecting. Wasabi. Yes, it's exactly like that. I know Wasabi's curious what's coming up here, which I'm going to introduce to you guys. I know you guys may be excited for this. I actually got it sitting right here in a box, which is we got something. We got something, guys. So we got something from Gigabyte here. So as you see, the name, they got it labeled here. So we did get something in. Yes. We will open it and find out in just a bit. We will open it probably like about 6:30ish, just to make sure we get enough people in here. Yeah, so we got something from Gigabyte. So I'm curious myself to see what it's going to be. Hopefully you guys are excited for it. I could put up a poll for everybody to take a guess on what Gigabyte has sent over. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put a vote in for this. Let's see. We're going to put a poll option up here, and we're going to put, what do you think is in the box? How about that? What do you think is in the box? And I'm going to put a few options here. I'll put some silly ones, of course. And let's see. And okay, so I'm about to put this poll up so you guys can feel free to take a guess. Tiffany, what's going on? It's SATA cable. Watch it be if it is a SATA cable, that would be something, right? I think it's a toe. You remember yes, I do remember your experiences. You also, forgive me if or correct me if I'm wrong, you also had the issues with the 9070 XT, correct? Mizo has the upper hand now. Okay, good. All right. Nice, nice. So far, we got a guess of a motherboard. So for anybody who is curious about how this poll works, you just put the number in, and that's how you move the poll. So feel free to put your vote, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So feel free to take a guess what is in the box. The box opening will happen at 6:30. Make sure you let everybody know that there will be some sort of unboxing that is coming up in just a bit. So definitely excited to share that with you guys. So, the 6,000 megahertz kit that we all need for AMD practically, that or the 6,400 megahertz kits. They're going to be obviously the more pricey option here. A lot of motherboard guesses. That is good. That is a good guess so far. So, from December, it's roughly about over $400 for this kit. It's $715. Well, at least you're. Oh wow, $715 for you technically. Awesome. I know for some of you guys out there, I apologize for all my European audience out there. I know it's a bit late for you guys. Has integrated memory gone up just as badly? Yes. Brian, what's going on? 4 all day. Nice. So, 400, it was priced at around 425, and that's going to be around. Thank you, sorry officer, for sharing that with everybody. Yeah, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to follow on Twitch if you're not already. Also, the pricing again, $425 roughly around December, and then it spikes back up to about $500 to $525 on average for a DDR5 2x16 gigabyte kit. So for 32 gigabytes of RAM, that's 6,000 megahertz, your more common RAM that you need, especially for gaming and performance, is reaching at a level about $500 to $525. And just to give you an idea, I even paid $120 for 2 terabytes of M.2. I believe that yes, they absolutely raised it 2 terabytes of SSD storage. Now, this is PCI Express 4. If anybody does plan to, say, get a PC or build a PC or planning to do any type of upgrade, it's gone up quite dramatically. You're paying pretty much $1 per gigabyte right now. It's even more, actually. It's more like $1. I'd say like more like $1.50 per gigabyte now. So roughly you'll spend like $300 on a 2 terabyte SSD, which we all know was not nearly that expensive just a few months ago, back at least in even October. It started climbing, but it got more severe every week, I gotta say, when it comes to SSDs. Now, SSDs were very explosive when the pricing happened. They did go up slowly, but then it was quite explosive within, I'd say, like the last 2 or 3 weeks, which we can definitely check out. Now, if we go up here and check out the SSD side, I'll show you exactly how bad it was. Now, if we're looking down here, these are all hard drives, solid state drives, and here's the 2 terabyte pricing. So for 2 terabytes, when it comes to M.2s, it is around roughly about December. We'll just go off of December right here, this red line that they have created for us. So it's roughly about 250, right? And then once it starts to enter about January, it starts to get a little bit sketchy. Now, it's not going to be super descriptive whether it was PCI Express 4 or PCI Express 5. But if you choose either or, it doesn't matter which one, they're both going to be quite expensive. So the pricing for 2 terabytes, if you choose to go ahead and get it, it is roughly about $350 now. And it's holding at $350 for 2 terabytes of M.2 storage. So whether you get PCI Express 4 or PCI Express 5, they cost as equally as much as the same. It's quite ridiculous. And I even paid $120 for 2 terabytes. Oh yes, I just read that. March 16th exactly, I paid $120 for Crucial's P3, and that's a very decent SSD. It's nothing that should cost crazy high, and oh my god, you don't want to hear the price of... Yeah, I bet it's quite terrible. Ripple Snake, he said, I bought a Crucial P310 for 500 gigabytes for $61 for about a month ago. Now the same one is $100. I believe it. What's up, Z-Man? Good to see you. Brian, I had to relook at the pics. I looked at the wrong angle. I retracted 4 and hit the 3. Oh, okay. That's okay. Can't do anything with a 1 terabyte drive. Games, music, audiobooks, map data. So if for anyone that's coming in and just curious about the question here, about what do you think is in the box, this is it right here. So feel free to take a guess what is inside of this box. So what's it look like to you guys? Right there. Try to get it into focus. There you go. All right. And take a guess. We will open it up at 6:30. Feel free to take a guess what's inside the box. So can't do anything with a 1 terabyte. And it's insane. And it just seems like more games are taking up more and more storage. We got to talk to the people who created Helldivers 2, because the creators of Helldivers 2, they managed to get a game that was about 170, 180 gigabytes and managed to compress it enough to the point where it's roughly about 50 gigabytes. Now, that's optimization. That's who we need when it comes to upcoming game titles. And man, I am hyped up for Resident Evil Requiem. It's only about like 2 weeks until we get to see it. So your Discord helped me find the side. I'm glad that you got to find it. It's not too bad for Lian Li. For anyone that has Lian Li side glass panels and they end up breaking, it happens. It does happen. And Lian Li actually does make glass side panels for anyone that runs into that same issue. So basically, Chris, that cash in USD is now the extra cost now. That's like $1,110 in my currency. That's insane. Tiffany says so she's thinking AIO. Call of Duty needs to take notes. Absolutely. Call of Duty, that is 500 gigabytes. If you purchase a 500 gigabyte SSD, that's going to take up the whole thing. You can't even fit your OS and Call of Duty in the same drive. Corsair, okay, so Corsair also does the same. I'm glad that these companies are starting to do that more. I guess it's a case that's quite common for it to happen. So let's take a look at Micro Center here. Accidentally made that blow up too big. So far, we got guesses of motherboard and AIO. All good guesses here. Definitely excited to see, to share with you guys what is inside the box. It's going to be, of course, part of one of our projects. If you are not familiar with the channel, we do have a PC build coming up. We are going to work on Project Aura, which is an Intel build. Patiently waiting for Arrow Lake refresh. Or just getting it at 285K, really depends on the situation. Then we also do have another build, a AMD build, which is going to be Project BTF. And there's going to be the one that's unfortunately in the back burner. I honestly thought was going to be one of the first projects to get done, which is the stealth build, which is Project Ninja. And that's going to end up coming up for sure. We're going to make sure that gets done within this year, because I think that's going to be one of the more anticipated projects of all time right now. So under the 2-year warranty, they sent a free. Oh, that's pretty dope that they actually did that. There are. I know. I see. The problem is when it comes to, it doesn't make sense, right? But it is. It takes up quite a bit of space. You know what it is? It's the because of the combination of Call of Duty. They have a couple games that they package in when you do download the game. So not only would you need Black Ops, but you also need to get their, you also have to get their Warzone. You have to get Warzone packed in with it if you wanted to, plus the single player campaign, plus the multiplayer campaign. And then, especially for those who had like, say, Modern Warfare 2, and you wanted to play Modern Warfare 3, you had to have both games installed in order to play it. And I got a 15% discount code, anything I want to buy directly from them. I found, yeah, Corsair is actually really dope when it comes to helping. In fact, for anyone who has a Corsair keyboard, I can say this. I have a Corsair K100. So a Corsair K100 is an excellent keyboard. I've been using it for quite some time, actually. It's my go-to keyboard. I use it for both my production and I also use it for gaming as well. And especially for those who live in warmer environments, you might be familiar with their wrist rest when it comes to their keyboards. In fact, I'll take it off so I can show you guys. So their wrist rest is kind of like this. So they give you this, right? They rest your wrist on. And typically they'll end up flaking or they'll start breaking apart. And that's exactly what mine's did. It started flaking, breaking apart. So I just went to go talk to Corsair, and Corsair said that's no problem. We know that this can happen on our wrist rest. We'll send you a brand new one. With it, no questions asked, I got it within like a week. So Corsair is really good when it does come for the customer service side for certain. What's going to be funny? It's going to be a GPU you struggled picking it up. So Chris, so far I found a monitor I told you about that was working great. Oh yeah, because I remember you were talking about that. Now you just remembered. You just reminded me actually of it. The Sansui. How do you like it so far? Because I remember we were talking about it. We were kind of mixed on the subject because we were trying to figure out if it was going to be the perfect GPU that you wanted for your build. But I'm glad you did end up picking it up. I hope it turned out great. So when it comes to Micro Center, they do have some decent builds that you can actually get done. Some decent kits, I should say. So you can get like a 9850X3D, the ASUS X870P, and the Crucial Pro overclocking, all for $700. There's also a great deal that I wanted to share with you guys as well. In fact, I'll send it over to you. Let me see. Let me fix that because now this is all over the place. There we go. Let me extend that a bit so you guys can see it a bit better. Low, medium, and strong. That's good to hear. That is definitely good to hear. There we go. So that's the kit right there for anyone that is curious, it's the 32 gigabyte kit that comes with the AMD Ryzen 9850X3D, and it does come with the MSI. I believe this is MSI's board. No, this is the ASUS X870P board that it does come with. This is probably one of the better deals. Actually, one of the kits that I want to share with you, if you guys haven't seen on YouTube, let me expand this a bit. On my YouTube post, I actually have a kit. It's wonderful. Micro Center is the best. But for those who don't have a Micro Center near them, I do get it. I could post a link for you guys certainly for this. For those who are a bit curious for this, which is right here. I'm going to show you guys. Let me just load it up here. It's actually a really decent kit, and it's like 900 bucks. But it comes with pretty much like most of your major components that you would look for when it comes to your PC. So this is it right here. I'm going to open it up here, and I'll share the link, or you can just go into my post on YouTube and feel free to click it. It's also on my Twitter account as well. It's a CPU motherboard memory combo, and it also comes with the 9850X3D. So it comes with the MSI X870E motherboard. Now, the motherboard that they chose is very specific. I love this motherboard. For anyone who owns this motherboard, they can certainly tell you it's one of the best ones that you can certainly get when it comes to AMD's platform or AM5's platform, and that's going to be the MSI Carbon X870E. It's a wonderful motherboard, and it does have the colors DDR5 with it, and on top of it, it comes with the M75 Corsair mouse. Now, for anyone that is looking for it, it is on my page here. I'll post it here. I'll just copy it and post it for you guys just in case. If anyone is looking for a kit like that, just scroll down a little bit. It's off of my more recent post. Make sure to check it out. Yes, MSI Carbon is amazing, especially if you're trying to look for a great motherboard that you can easily overclock. Just to give you an idea of how much these MSI Carbons are typically, they're usually a great deal for anyone that is looking to start off with the PC build. This is $430. So just think of it, $430 for this motherboard alone, and then plus the CPU. Now, it's the 9850X3D, which is AMD's newest CPU. This is practically like the 9800X3D, but with 400 megahertz of a better clock on there, or more of a boost clock, you can say, on there, compared to the 9800X3D. So you'll get the latest CPU, and you get the motherboard, plus you get some RAM. So altogether, if you bundle it by yourself in a cart, it's going to cost you well over that. Plus, you get a Corsair M75 mouse. So I got the MSI Carbon board. It's fire. Absolutely. It's a wonderful board, isn't it? Definitely recommend it for everyone out there who wants to do a PC build. It's one of my go-to boards, especially when someone is building a PC. I usually recommend getting something like this. The MSI Carbon is something for anyone to go after. So, and another great board I do have to mention, of course, is ASUS's e-gaming motherboard. That's also a great motherboard, but of course, with today's pricing, it can be a little bit difficult to be able to purchase a motherboard separately for your kits, because now it's almost better to go ahead and purchase one of Micro Center's kit, because you'll end up saving so much more. Like $529 for this board, I get the MSI Pro B650. MSI is the go-to. They're very reliable, and they show really no issues when it comes to their boards. Really easy to work with. Mystic Light is something that I feel is not too bad, something that can certainly be worked on. I bought directly from Amazon. Awesome. So you ready, guys? Pretty soon we'll open this up. Hopefully you got all your guesses in. We're about to see what is in here. They packaged it really well, Gigabyte, so we know it's nice and safe. We'll kind of cut it open and see how it comes out, and we'll see what's in here. I know a lot of you guys are anticipating to see what is in this box, and we'll find out what it is. So let's go ahead and get our trusty knife here and see what is inside. You posted my pick. Oh, oh yeah? All right, so let's open this up. So, oh man, they taped it nice, I gotta say. So nice, it's hard to find the crevice on this. So, that's how it looks up on the top here. So we're gonna try to open this. Okay, there we go. Don't you love it when you just try to cut perfectly straight and then it somehow goes in an angle? There we go. All right, that's one cut. And cut across here. And now we got just one more cut to get this finally open. Give us a full screen. Absolutely. Okay, you got me there, Wasabi. All right, let's go. We'll go full screen and we'll get rid of this vote box because we are opening it. There's no point of the poll anymore, right? So, yeah, wouldn't it be crazy if Gigabyte had a 12-pack that they sent? That would be pretty funny, right? Can you imagine a 12-pack that they just hand over? So we're opening up this box, guys, and everybody took a guess. It seems that majority of the people, man, they got this extra piece of tape here. Majority of people believe it is a motherboard. And then we do have a second half of people that also believes that it could be an AIO. So let's see exactly what it is. Man, Waffle, I know if he's not in this, he's going to be really upset because I know he's looking forward to this. But we will see. And it's... Alright, so it's bubble packed nicely. There you go, right? So let's open the bubble wrap out. Wow, there's multiple levels of bubble wrap. There you go, second layer of bubble wrap here. Woo! You ready, guys? Haha, alright, so this is what it is, guys. You ready? This is it. That's what we got here. 5070 Ti by Gigabyte. Thank you, Gigabyte, for sending this. This will definitely come in handy for the build. Looks familiar, right, Wasabi? That's the same one you got. Nice. So, we're gonna, more than likely, we're going to end up throwing this into Project Aura. Yeah, there you go, right? Isn't that insane? So, Gigabyte, thank you for sending this, as we will throw this into Project Aura. I know you guys are certainly excited for it, to see Intel's build all together here. More than likely, we're waiting for this whole refresh to come out. As you guys know, or if you guys aren't too familiar, they do have the 250K and the 270K has recently kind of leaked out. We were hoping for a 290K, but that seems like that's not going to be the case currently. Frame that 5070 Ti, yes, they are hard to come by now. Absolutely, it's quite insane, right? So this is going to be their WindForce Overclock Edition. I'm sure Wasabi can tell you all about it. But this is it. Take a look right here. And we will do an unboxing video on this. I'll make sure to completely unbox it for you guys, for anyone that wants to get a 5070 Ti. So, yes. So we're... yeah, right? That's right, Wasabi. Yeah, it's going to be pretty much like an all Gigabyte build. That's what we want to focus on it. It's going to be Lee. So for you guys who are not familiar with the specs for it, we're going to have a Gigabyte Z890 Aorus Master. And it's going to go with this Gigabyte Aorus. Not Aorus, Gigabyte WindForce RTX 5070 Ti in a Lee 217 case. And we're also going to get some more parts, which we will find out soon. I'm trying to work with vendors right now to get some other parts here. So told you not to struggle picking up. It's going to be a GPU. Yeah, that was a good call there. So Simplicity says, Chris, please answer just yes or no. Are you close to Texas? Sort of. I'm sort of close to, well, I'm in South Florida. South Florida is kind of far from, going to be kind of far from everything. But I have a friend who will need a PC system, and I can honestly put him on if he makes, put him onto you once he makes the money. Yeah, sure. Yeah, feel free to let me know. Would love to know if that is the case. if he does. You know what's funny? I was actually thinking of doing a Texas trip, probably within the next couple months. Actually, within a few months. Thinking of doing actually a road trip because, of course, our dog is getting old. As all you guys know, Jonah, right here. That's the brand of the channel. As he's getting older, so we want to make sure that he enjoys his rest of the time here. I mean, he is turning 14, so if we do end up going to Texas, or if for some reason he chooses to go over to Florida, then yeah, we can certainly figure something out if that's the case. So speaking of which, we almost have all the components together of this PC build of Project Aura, which can happen soon. Now, of course, for anyone that is looking to get a PC and getting ready in the market for looking for a PC, the good thing is, because the market is currently stagnant, even though everything is currently expensive the way it is, it's going to be, the prices will not vary. It's not going to be a variable anymore. It's not going to change. So finally, the Intel Gigabyte motherboard is about to be free. yes, it's going to end up being free soon. It's going to end up being free. And I know for those who are just coming into the channel, I might as well just throw this in the back here so everyone can see it. Let me see. Man, my table's kind of far from me, so it's kind of hard to display it. But I would love to put it on a chair maybe and put it out there for you guys who got to miss the unboxing of this. And I'll set it back there. What's up, Egyptian? You just missed it. Well, I just unboxed that mystery box. So finally the Intel but yeah, that Intel motherboard will finally be happy. It's been a long process in the making for that board. I would love to test it up against AMD system. And of course, it's something different. It's a nice alternative for anyone that doesn't want to go AMD. I see that there's a lot of people that are starting to be interested in that side. So I saw a system for $1,900. It's an MSI build with 2 terabytes, Ryzen 7 7800 XD with 32 gigabytes of DDR5. And 5060 Ti. You know what the crazy thing, speaking of 5060 Ti's, I don't know if anyone has noticed it, but it's starting to reach the levels of what a 5070 Ti should be. It's quite scary, in fact. Yeah, and that's the problem. The prices are certainly all over. So, Chris, I'm undecided for the case. Should I stick with the Gigabyte case, C301 version 2 case, or the ASUS Helios 2 white? That's tough. It's a predicament there. It depends on your brand that you're currently using now. Are you using what motherboard are you using currently? Expensive with RAM, GPU, SSD. Everything else is not, thank goodness. What you get with 250, you got that Bugatti and got some cars for you in that budget. And it's insane. I mean, I thought about doing some things for with everybody out there. Going to different areas, checking out different like pawn shops and everything to see if they have any RAM available. I'm curious if anyone actually has went into tried to purchase RAM at a pawn shop. If anyone has tried, let me know your experience because I'm curious. So for everyone who has missed it, let me put this chair next to me so you guys can see it. This is what was in the box, guys. So we do have this ready to go here. This 5070 Ti that wants to go into a PC. Now it's become quite a tough commodity to go by. So my Aorus Ice White Z890 with the i7 Ultra Core 265K. My ASRock Taichi, yes, with the 9070 XT was 800. Wow, that's still kind of pricey. Because originally the pricing for the ASRock, for ASRock, Taichi 9070 XT during December was about $599. You can get your hands on it. But now, of course, the pricing has gone up. It's pretty much like a hot commodity at this point, like when it comes to any PC hardware. So let's go ahead and go back here and let's take a look at the best deals for anyone that is looking to do a PC build. If you're looking for AMD bundles, of course, it's not a bad idea to go with something like this, $350 for a 7600X. Dominators, Best Buy. Really? Dominators. White with the video. I don't know if anybody has saw this. I got to share this with you guys too real quick. So I'm going to open up another tab here, and I'm definitely going to cover it. This is actually quite interesting. Let me see. For anyone who likes to look at hardware, video cards is really nice to go on too. But take a look here. This happened on Bilibili. So anyone has a OLED monitor? Yes, I have an OLED monitor. It's awesome. It's 100% awesome. If you can get it, it is a game changer. So you ready, guys? Take a look at this. We're gonna look at this video together, and you let me know your thoughts. So you ready? So we're gonna play it together. And look, he turns on his PC. What? Can you believe that? Can you believe that? That on a 12 volt high power, I'm going to replay it again. Yeah, they are. You paid $800 or something around it. At the time, I bought it when it was newer. So I roughly paid about, what was it? $1,200, I think. But now you can get it much cheaper. It's definitely much more fairly priced if you go for it. Ready, guys? There it is again. What's all? What? What's all? Oh man, that is bad. That is bad. So if you see this guy obviously did the right thing. As soon as you see this happen, let's zoom in on it. Let's zoom in on it so you guys can see it a bit better. So it's hard to see from that angle too. Let me see. Okay, I'll just play it again just like this. So if you're looking at it, let me pause it. Let's go back here. Let's go back here. All right, now this is all. So right there, look at that. Just quite crazy. LSG, what's going on? I got one for 700, one for 1100, and the G9 Samsung for 2200. Awesome. That's actually not too well. The G9 was 2200. That's a much larger monitor too. So Fugra says I've had 32 gigabytes of DDR5 dominators, titanium. Oh, really? yeah. You don't want it to burn. My white Taichi 9070 XT just came out January. Yes. Because of course there's always the tax you gotta pay when you change different colors when it comes to PC hardware at times. But it makes me curious. We're gonna check out Best Buy, and we're going to check out what the pricing is for some DDR5 dominators. So let's take a look. Dominators would be, that's not it. Dominators. I guess I won't specifically look for it, but I'll just try typing it up here. There we go. Oh wow. Man, that is pricey. So we're gonna allow the location, see what's available around this location, the Miami location, right off the Corsair website. If you got it off the Corsair website, did you end up getting the coupon code for it? Because I know some people got to take advantage of like the different codes, like coupon codes when it comes to Corsair. Ever since that, I think, yeah, CPU prices are safe. Generally, any of the components as of now, at least, are okay. The only thing I can say, like when it comes to CPUs, is they use TSMC's chips. And because they use TSMC, I know Jensen was requiring that he needs 2 times more to production of TSMC's chip. That's the only variable that was really in there that can cause like an upshift in pricing. But I don't think it's going to be enough to cause another shortage for that type of chip. If it does, and then it would get severely bad when it comes to GPUs, and then it would get kind of rough on CPUs. But again, it's TSMC that he requested 2 times more to production. I know Apple has already bought out their wafers for this year. They bought out quite a few for their new lineup for whatever they plan on launching. More than likely, it's going to be the M5. Not M5. I think they're actually skipping it. They skipped the M4, M5. I think they're going straight to M6 it is. They're going straight to M6 Max when it comes to their new product. I know they requested for it, and those are the 2 major companies that requested it, at least. But I don't think right now OpenAI or any of those other companies are looking to get involved in that, because they're going to require to get it from their they're going to require HBMs, which is a whole different chipset, and then plus they're going to require more GPUs instead. So at least for these CPU side, it's going to be safe, at least for now. So I paid half the price 2 years ago for them for 843 Canadian dollars right now. So 584, 216 gigabytes of CL30. So 6,000 I paid. Yeah, it's insane. It's a big difference when it comes to pricing. Like if you bought it then. Thank you. Probably have to wait for a sale. I'd say like a decent one you can certainly get. Now it depends on the processor you want to get, whether you want to go with Intel or AMD. AMD has some really good processors that you can certainly pick up. I believe that the 9800 X3D will certainly come down in price. I could see that coming down to more into the $400 range. I was expecting that to actually come down to 400, and that the 9850 X3D was going to end up going to more of the pricing of like around $450. But instead they pushed up the price a bit more than I thought. It was like $50 more. So, but other than that, I think the pricing for at least processors, motherboards in that section, it should be okay. When it comes to RAM, this is now stable-ish. So meaning that you're going to see that it's holding these prices. And unfortunately, when it's stable like this, it means this is going to be like the new norm. The issue is I'm only looking at DDR4 CPUs. Oh, really? Why is that? AMD has more headway versus Intel when it comes to DDR4. Team Blue, Don makes some sense for performance. Yeah, I mean, again, Intel's great when it comes to one of the underrated processors out there. Of course, we all know they did terribly back in the 9th and 10th generation. Became questionable. The 10th generation somehow did worse than the 9th generation. Almost like history repeated itself when it came to Arrow Lake and versus Raptor Lake. But again, there was a reason for it. Arrow Lake was designed to be more efficient versus something that was very power hungry. And as you know, when it came to Raptor Lake refresh, there was issues of the microcode inside of the processor. That and different motherboards, similar to what happened with the 9800 X3D burning out. Same thing happened with Intel, pretty much. So, what do you think of the 9070X? It's the 9070XT is great for productivity. It is awesome for productivity. There's nothing wrong with using it for productivity. The only time I wouldn't recommend it as much is if you're more of a 3D designer. Or if you're more on a budget, again, you can really get away with a lot with the 9070 XT. And unless you only absolutely need the CUDA cores, you have programs that require it. But most people would be satisfied with the 9070 XT, especially if you're doing things like streaming or if you're doing things like gaming. The encoders will be different, of course. So I just bought the 14900K for, oh really? It's amazing how long lasting that is. If you look at Micro Center, like if you could go to their PC parts here, right? You take a look at their bundles when it comes to Intel builds. I'm a gamer dev. Okay, so if that's the case, the 9070 XT would absolutely fit your needs. I would think you would love it. And I know a great gamer. He games on the 9070 XT like pretty much nonstop. And it's on the 12 volt high power port. It's on Sapphire's Nitro Plus. In fact, it's the build that I've done last year when it came to this PC, and he's still gaming on it to this day. And it's working great, no issues. In fact, he's probably gaming on it right now. So, well, I just wanted to come in a little late. Wanted to say hello and hope everyone was doing well. Mr. Rainbow. So just to throw out there for you, welcome back in. And also, what's up, Havy? Good to see you. Just to let you guys know, this is what came in, guys. Sorry if you guys missed the unboxing part of it. That's what it is right there. I got to sit it out there for you guys to see what it is. It is a Gigabyte 5070 Ti that has come in. It's going to go into the Project Oris build. So we are certainly excited for it. Simplicity says some people got a Ryzen 9 and just... that would be such a waste if that was the case. The crazy part is Micro Center still has some great bundle deals. They still got Raptor Lake. They still have plenty of them. And for if anyone's skittish about getting Raptor Lake, don't be too skittish. There's plenty of guys out there that have no problems when it comes to it. Again, that issue when it came to the microcodes and their BIOS, just the most important factor. It's no different when it comes to any other PC out there. Whether you go with Intel or whether you go with AMD, just make sure to update the BIOS. It is one of the most critical and most important parts out there. 25 people. Oh yeah, please like. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to follow. Love my 9070 XT Sapphire. Oh yeah, it's amazing. Again, 9070 XT, one of the most underrated ones out there that you can certainly get when it comes to a GPU. I highly recommend it for anyone out there that has a tighter budget that who can't get something like an NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti. Understandable. It's expensive now. It's almost $1,000 for this. So it's over $1,000 now. It's like over $1,000 for it. So getting a 9070 XT, you're spending under $1,000. It's only going to be about $700 to be able to get your hands on a 9070 XT, which can perform very well when it comes to 1440, and it still can play well when it comes to even games that's 4K, but you have to make sure that they are optimized for that processor. No, really? LSG, your 9950X3D, really? What happened? You got to share the details, bro. You got to let me know exactly what went on. Let me know what the problem is. Can't get motherboards for them right now, though. That's one motherboard I am certainly curious of when it comes to Sapphire. I would love to see how it is, especially their X870s. Sorry to hear that if that's the case. So they're not that on the CPU. So your motherboard information SP mine is 94 for my AMD 7800X3D. That's pretty good for me. It's good for a lot of people out there. 14900K has been solid. A nice undervolt, and my core VID doesn't exceed 1.25 volts, which is right, while getting up to 41 to 42K. And oh wow, that's amazing. That's actually really good benching wise. Sometimes like seeing these new benchmarks, like when it comes to processors, I feel that my Threadripper is getting old, and how bad I just want to replace that thing. And the thing is, I see that they're coming out with these new ones, with another new Threadripper that's supposed to be rumored, of course, as always. Maybe sit around, wait for Zen 6. Hopefully memory calms down a bit. Of course, there's even rumors of LPDDR6, which is going to be released for AMD's SoC, which is the 500 series, the AMD AI Max, which would be insane. But just imagine how much it would be to have that on a laptop. So sorry about misunderstanding of my information. I use voice chat and oops. So funny on eBay, I see a 9078. No, why would they sell it? Why would they sell that why? That makes no sense for that price. That's insane. So Ultra 7 265K, an awesome processor. And it's also another great thing too is that for anyone that is looking to build and is a fan of Resident Evil, I can say, if for some reason you choose to go NVIDIA, it has to be over, I believe, a RTX 5070, they're saying. If you get over a RTX 5070, if you got something like this right here, like a 5070 Ti, it comes with Resident Evil Requiem. So you can actually get the game for free if you go ahead and make that purchase for a new upgrade for a GPU. So if you've been wanting to play Resident Evil, there's your excuse right there to go ahead and upgrade the GPU anyway. But again, the pricing is questionable. I can't say it's questionable at the moment. But of course, unfortunately, with the momentary times at least, pricing isn't going to improve. So LSG says, I was gaming and the whole PC shut off and wouldn't boot. Changed the RAM, checked the power supply, and no dice. Swapped in the 9850X. Oh, wow. Man, you got me curious. What did you do with the 9950X3D out of curiosity? I would love to know what you did with it. Did you end up sending it back to AMD. That is insane. So it killed what? Your motherboard's also ASUS, correct? No, or do you have Gigabyte? Now that has me curious. And you were running PBO and everything too, right? Let me know like all your settings. I'm really curious about your case now, especially it happened on 9950X 3D. Now, the reason why this intrigues me is because the 9950X 3D can take up to 170 watts. So it can be able to handle a bit more power compared to other processors. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the 9950X3D can actually game better than the 9800X3D. Even though it has more wattage, it doesn't equal that it's going to give you better performance in just gaming as well. A lot has to do with how it manages the cores. But anyway, without getting into all that, it's able to withstand more power to it compared to a 9800X3D, which is 120 watts. I know there's cases currently where they had the 9850X3D, where I'm sure that there's people out there that have this same issue where it's burned out. I can see that happening. So most importantly, for anyone that does have a PC out there that has AM5 or Intel, in fact, I can certainly tell you guys, make sure to update your BIOS. It's very important too. Whether you have ASUS, Gigabyte, MSI, no, it doesn't matter the brand. Even if you have ASRock, obviously you gotta update the BIOS. We all know with ASRock you gotta update the BIOS. But anyway, they have a new BIOS out there. It's called AGESA 1.3A. That is what you want. Thank you for subscribing.
Subscribe to the channel.
So it's called AGESA 1.3. That is the new BIOS revision from AMD. So make sure to update to 1.3. That is vital and important whether you are on any of your motherboards. In fact, ASUS came out with theirs on the Hero within about 14 days ago, and on the Tough, the Tough and the Prime, they came out with it like maybe about 2 or 3 days ago. Gigabyte came out with theirs like a few days ago, maybe 2 or 3 days ago as well. MSI also released theirs pretty suddenly as well. So please update your BIOS if you do have a AMD processor, because again, it's powerful for what it is, but it's also a very sensitive chip. So I will never be an evil resident. I get it. Started the RMA process, have the ROG Strix X870E, and ironically, they just came out with their. In fact, I'll show you. X870E Strix. They just came out with their new BIOS. It's funny that you mentioned it too. I'll show you exactly. They just came out with it. BIOS and firmware, right here. I don't know why they put it as beta. That always annoys me when companies do this. But they put it out as beta. It just recently released again on the 10th. So it came out like maybe about just yesterday. So they came out with this new BIOS, and this should apparently give it more stability. So unfortunately, this came out right before
Brian subscribe to the channel.
That sucks. So, but of course, LSG, I know you've done this before. You can always flash the, you already have a 9850X3D in there anyway. So you could just flash the new BIOS if you haven't already, if you wanted to. But the thing is, I can say this about when it comes to ASUS. If you update your BIOS, and you're doing it on an ASUS motherboard, and it's a beta version, and if something happens, I don't know if they still abide by this or not. I have to speak with somebody at ASUS to really find out again, just to see if to clarify this. But if you do update a beta BIOS on an ASUS motherboard, your warranty won't cover it if something does happen. So that is the risk that you may have to be willing to take if you want to go ahead and go to your BIOS, or just go to your BIOS and set your SoC voltage at 1.3 at the maximum. That is the maximum that it can take, whether it's if it's a 9950X3D, or if it's a 9850X3D, or a 9800X, any X3D really. So what should you do if you have an i5 13400 5070 DDR5. I want to move to AM5. What CPU should I get? Great question. What are your plans on AM5? What are you planning to do? Are you planning to do any type of gaming? Are you planning to do more graphic design? Or are you trying to do content creation? Let me know, and I can certainly help you a bit more on that. I wasn't just going to send it to you if they didn't accept. Oh, really? I was going to send. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I would definitely research it, and I would reach out to my contacts at AMD and see what happened here. But I know they're not gonna. I'm like a nobody to them, so they might not even want to acknowledge the question. But I would definitely research the issue. Just picked up a used 13900K and a ASUS Maximum Hero for $440. 39K in Cinebench with Max Core VI. I thought I just read. Am I having deja vu here? Never used a beta version. I thought that was some. Yeah, so that's the fishy details about it. That is fishy. So if you have an ASUS Strix board or an ASUS Tough Gaming motherboard, they both have a beta version currently. Now, if you're looking for their current stable one is of January 30th of 2026. That is their stable one. Now, this is the same version that's practically on the ASUS Hero motherboards or any the ASUS Hero Maximus motherboards as well. Not Maximus, Maximum. Or not Maximum. What is it? Their top motherboard practically. It's also the same one on there. But of course, the beta one is supposed to be a bit more detailed. I did try to pull more answers. I did my best trying to get in contact with them, and it was like pulling teeth. It was no responses, whether contacting through email or even setting up a meeting with them, and it was tough to get in touch with them about this. But I can certainly say that if they're silent, it's a good thing. It means they know that the issue is persistent and that they're trying to figure out a problem and how to fix the issue. But of course, if I do get answers, I will 100% love to share with you guys exactly what the problem is. And more than likely, it's going to have to do with the voltages. It's just not currently stable. So I will be doing some content creation for Minecraft. So if that's the case, and you want to go ahead and do something like that, so for what you have listed here, let me see. So let me see. Let me go back here. So for AM5, for what you are required for content creation and Minecraft gaming, you won't really require as much. I would recommend if you're on a tighter budget, you can go with something like I think what would do you well is a 7800 extra, no, not extra D, but a 7800X would even do well, or a 7900X, or even a 9700X. I think those would be a decent processor for you, assuming that if you are doing an equal blend. But if you're doing more gaming, then you can go with something like a 7800 extra D would be good. You wouldn't need nothing of the latest processors or nothing. You're not playing nothing super demanding. So even then, you would be okay to game on. So what board is your 14900K in? I'm using the MSI MEG Ace Z790, and I'm using the Tomahawk Max for my friend. So LSG says, I haven't updated the BIOS. I wonder if it was overvolt. More than likely. So if anyone's not familiar, I do have videos up for anyone that does currently have a AM5 processor, specifically for those concerned about the X3D. Unfortunately, with the LSG's case, his 9950 X3D had burned up. And it seems that I believe it's going to have to be with the SoC voltages. Sometimes there's voltage spikes from the PBO and everything that can cause it. So I would definitely check in something like hardware info. Go into hardware info, or go into if you have it, guys, go into hardware info and make sure to highlight the SoC voltage and put it onto your reminder. Put an alert up. And if you put an alert, it will be able to tell you exactly where your voltages are. It'll even if you're not paying attention to it, you can actually see where the voltage, the highest spike of voltage, it will actually notify you in there. So you can take a look at it, say if you were using it for a week straight but wasn't really paying attention to your voltages, to your SoC, then you can actually look there and it'll tell you the general idea, or not really general idea, but the highest voltage that the SoC actually went to. So any idea where the new X870E Strix Neo motherboard is coming out? I can say very soon. In fact, what's today? Wednesday? You know what? I'll talk to somebody. I'll talk to somebody and I'll try to get that information. And if I can draw that information, I'll definitely relay it for you guys. And I'll probably reach out to him maybe Monday or something. Or maybe, yeah, probably Monday would probably be best. I'll try to reach out to him Monday and see what I can get. What mic are you using? I'm getting the Rode pod mic. I'm actually using a Rode as well, but I'm using the Rode Shotgun, which is the NG1. That is the one that I am currently using on my streams. I actually multitask with this, so I use it for my streams and I also use it for my videos as well. Hopefully it's adjusted nice and well. I forgot to actually adjust this. Preferably, I like it around here. I think it's best, because then it doesn't pop or crackle. And it does have like an amplify setting. So for anyone that has an ASUS Strix X870E, they do have a beta version. I have to thank Unico Hardware for sharing this, because he shared it on his page, which was a really nice find actually. For anyone that is looking to update their BIOS on their ASUS motherboards that are concerned with the X3D processor, they have the beta BIOS that is available as soon as yesterday. Now we can take a look at a few other models here, but I don't believe it was available for, last time I checked, it wasn't available for the Corsair Hero. Corsair Hero. I believe the Glacier's out for anyone that is looking for that, but of course, if you haven't seen the pricing on that, it's quite up there for the Glacier. And BIOS and firmware. Okay, they had the beta BIOS as well. They did change it, so they got the beta BIOS here. So again, for anyone that is coming in and wanting to update your BIOS when it comes to ASUS, be wary of the beta version. Now, the beta version does not guarantee warranty coverage if you go ahead and install it into your motherboard. Now, again, it's pending change. I'll try to get more information about this. I'm definitely going to ask about this, and I'm also going to ask about the whole the Strix Neo when they're exactly releasing here. So I'm using the Gigabyte Aorus Elite X Wi-Fi 7. Got my overclock after watching a guy on YouTube to understand how to get there. He uses Gigabyte board, which is why I used Gigabyte. Gigabyte's awesome. Everybody in here, a lot of guys in here are either ASUS or Gigabytes and MSI. We got quite a few. We got a decent mix actually. Now when it comes to Gigabyte, they're great boards. They're reliable when it comes to it, and they're built spectacularly well. But I'm glad you're able to do the overclocking. Now, of course, be mindful when you do use your motherboard for overclocking. You want to make sure to have sufficient cooling. That's where a lot of the problems usually go, is because it gets too hot when it comes to any component. Doesn't matter what it is. Of course, the VRMs, now they're quite built well. They have plenty of VRMs in a lot of these motherboards, to where I definitely wouldn't worry as much as compared to before when it comes to overclocking. So yeah, Gigabyte's a great choice. In fact, I'll show you Gigabyte's Gigabyte. Let's look up Gigabyte X870E, and I'll show you their current BIOS, their revision here. Let's go over to not specific support, go to BIOS, and right here you can see theirs was actually a release of the 4th, and this is for the 3B E7. Now this is for, they don't have the I guess a 1.3 just quite yet, I believe. So that's going to be coming soon. If it's not on the Elite, I bet it's on the Master. Let's take a look. I lost my riser cable mount screws. Oh, really? I also used 2 of my case screws as a substitute. Time to email height and figure out what type of screws they were. So they're probably, so for those screws, they're going to be, I think, M125, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. Is it just the newer boards burning out, or is it the 650 boards that are burning out as well? It's also, it's mostly the newer from what I'm seeing, but also if you do have an older board, if you do have a B650 or a X670E, make sure to upgrade it anyway, or update the BIOS. It's important. I feel it's critical for anybody out there that is looking to try to get the best settings when it comes to your processor. It's important. Now for the Aorus Master, it looks like they also don't have the new Aggressive 1.3, not just quite yet, but I believe they will come out with it soon. So for you guys on Gigabyte, definitely be on standby, and I'm certain that it will be out soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's out within this week or within the next week, but it's going to be soon. So updated BIOS resets, all custom. That is correct. Now, for anyone that has custom settings that you would like to stick to your BIOS, one thing I can say, let me put this up closer for you guys who didn't get to see the unboxing. So this is what we ended up getting. We got the 5070 Ti, luckily, from Gigabyte. Thanks again, Gigabyte, for anyone that is looking to get a GPU. Certainly one of the best ones to get. As you guys know, I use the RTX 5090 Aorus Master in my build for when it comes to gaming. Now what New York City dude is saying is updated BIOS resets all custom settings. Yes. You can also save your profiles when it comes to your BIOS. Now, specifically, if you're on ASUS dashboard or ASUS's BIOS, you're going to go over to the tool side. And when you go over to the tool side, you're going to scroll down. You're going to hit the arrow key down and go to save profile. Now, when you save your profile, you can save it to your USB. Make sure to save it to your USB. Don't save it to your drive or anything, because again, it's best to go on USB, because it's not always going to pick up a drive. So save it into your USB, name it whatever you would like, and save that profile. And then once you flash the BIOS, you can actually load up your original profile settings, and you're pretty much good to go. So is that a Craftsman toolbox? No, it's not a Craftsman toolbox. It's actually it's not one. Yeah. It's not. It's actually a Husky. No, it's a Gigabyte Aorus. You see the Gigabyte Aorus sticker on there? It's a Gigabyte Aorus box. No, it's a Husky toolbox that I got. That was from Home Depot. I figured it's perfect for doing like PC builds and everything. So definitely one I recommend. What's up with we griping about the RAM prices? Yes. Recently, we were just talking about the whole BIOS debacle, about all the different motherboards that are experiencing different issues when it comes to the 9000 series X3Ds or 7000 series X3Ds. It can happen to really any of them. But speaking of the RAM situation, for anybody that is concerned, I can certainly say with the RAM situation, it isn't looking pretty. Now, if you are looking to do a PC build, or if you're looking to upgrade your PC, the best thing to honestly do is getting it through a kit. Now, of course, it's not ideal for those who already own a PC to go ahead and purchase a kit, but this is one of those few times where I highly recommend doing so, because if you do end up buying a kit, you end up getting a motherboard and some processor sitting in the background, just in case if your PC ever goes bad. You can use it for that, or you can end up selling your motherboard and your CPU if you don't want it. Now, of course, it'll end up paying for itself. In the end, you might pay like $200 for your RAM if that's the case. But again, that's what I would highly recommend. Go through a kit if you have a Micro Center near you, or go and take advantage of Newegg's kits that they do have. I have it on my page. That's actually a really good deal for those who are looking to do a fresh PC build, or if for those who are looking to do some sort of upgrade. That's what I would highly recommend. So stay a generation behind. You'll avoid these CPU and RAM BIOS problems. It's true, you can, but it's not necessarily 100% true. And the reason why I say that is because look at the 1300s. I'm just saying the 13th and the 14th gen Intel CPUs. That's about a generation or two behind, and they also had their fair share of problems. But I can say you're not 100% wrong on that either. Of course, if you do end up staying a generation behind, it's not always a bad thing because most kinks get worked out by then. Yeah, don't buy that stuff is what I mean. Yeah. So when you do end up purchasing, if anyone is in need of it, only purchase it if you need it. Don't purchase it just because you want it. Then I would highly recommend it for that. I'm gonna wait till I can push 8K gaming if I can afford something better than an Alienware 4K. I don't blame you. Unfortunately, like the pricing, this is like the new modern day pricing when it comes to PCs. Now, when it comes to a gigabyte, you could get a Z890 Gaming X Wi-Fi, $800, a very good motherboard, or you can choose to upgrade to even the MHG Tomahawk Wi-Fi for $819, and you get the Intel 285K plus some Corsair RAM. So that does give you that option. So if you go up here and you choose more of an AMD build, which is funny because they don't even offer AM4 kits. They offer strictly only AM5 kits. But again, there's AM5's been out for quite some time now. AM5's been out since 2022. So it's been out for about roughly about 3 years, a little bit over 3 years it would be. Can't say 4 years because then it would be more into I would say October-ish for it to be out for 4 years. But I can say if it comes for AM5 and you're looking to build a PC out of their systems, AMD's Ryzen 7600X is a great deal for $350. It's really hard to beat. Of course, you only get a single stick of RAM if you get it. I should really put my setup back together. Yeah. Don't get any dust in it. Don't be like our guy. Don't be just like our guy on Discord here. If you know who exactly I'm talking about. Having external fans hooked up to his PC, which just draws in more dust. I don't think prices is going to change that much because companies see what people will pay for stuff like it. I think they're pretty much stagnated. I do agree. A lot of the pricing has stagnated when it comes to the pricing side. And the reason being is because they see that the pricing hasn't changed much. It hasn't really changed much since of early January. So it's been stagnating for about 45 days, roughly. About 45 days. So it's going to unfortunately hold this way. And this is pretty much the new norm. And we're probably going to see this for at least until next month, if we see any change at all whatsoever. So Havy says, hi guys, got to leave the chat. Got to start work now. Good luck at work. Hopefully you have a safe day at work. Gonna lurk while I'm actually gonna throw you. Okay, yeah, sure thing. But yeah, as I was saying, don't expect a major change when it comes to pricing. Pricing is going to be pretty much stagnant to exactly where it is. And just to give you an idea of how the pricing is looking, we're gonna go over to the memory side, and because this is where a lot of the curiosity is. People are curious about the memory. So when it comes to DDR5, we've been tracking a Corsair's 6000 megahertz kit for quite some time. If you haven't seen it on Saturday, it was originally what was it? About $952, and they're probably still holding. Okay, so it dropped slightly. This has probably been the closest thing that's been volatile. Now it's $947.99, so it dropped $5 since then. So it hasn't really shifted much. So again, stagnant. G-Skill's Flare X5 been holding. It's been really holding tight at 430. Kingston's, again, this is used. Someone I guess thought they can buy the Threadripper kit and just sell the RAM, and apparently they failed. Oh, that's curious. Yes, this is all USD. So I thought I killed my build earlier. Turned turned it on without the GPU and just to see if my fans and RGBs were working. Turned it off and unplugged it, and then went to turn the build back on and nothing. Didn't realize I was. I think everybody's heart dropped when something like this happens. You just hope for a successful build, and then it just doesn't start up the way you think it does. So, G-Skill's Trident Z5 Royal Neo is 520, so it's nearly equal to the price of Corsair's Vengeance, and this is like their high-end version. So think we are spoiled that RAM prices were so low the last few years. Come full circle, if memory serves cheap, DDR5, yes, which I want to touch on that, actually. I do want to touch on that. Let me get a quick sip of water, take a sip. Make sure to drink water. Don't forget to drink water, guys. Oh, I needed that. Okay, so I'm stacking RAM like how people stack silver. I get it. I've been stacking RAM like crazy too. I've been trying to get as many RAM kits as I can and just having them in my drawer just in case. Because I feel like it's truly like the Ramageddon, because you just don't know when you're going to get RAM again. Because if it does end up selling out, then everyone's pretty much in a bad situation. What brings my curiosity is that you see that Corsair Vengeance, right? That they have over 25 in stock and G-Skill over 25 in stock. When that actually runs low, how will they respond after the shortage? After their original batch, will they start raising the prices then, or will it just stagnate? And until then, that's how we'll know how things will be looking with RAM. But as of now, this is like going to be the average pricing. So we're getting bad news too. Now the Ultra 9 290, yes, I feel really bad about that. Is Intel, yes, they are, but they've always been into it. And because they were one of the first processors that kind of like really introduced NPUs into their processors. So they've been into it, but not, they haven't been racing. Not racing as much as it comes to AMD or any other brands. Even Razer's been, believe it or not, Razer's actually been pretty aggressive in the AI race. They're definitely one of the more aggressive ones. You wouldn't think it. It's like you think just like a gaming company, but yeah, believe it or not, they're like in it to win it. They're building server racks, guys. So Waffle Skater says, I feel like we were, yes. The issue, so he says, I feel like we weren't spoiled, that it was all just market prices for the last few years. The issue seems that it is intentional due to the prices, due to corporate greed. I can say, like, within 2021 it was. I could actually look up an article about it, but he brought up a good point that in 2021, pricing for DDR5 was actually very expensive. To get a kit like a DDR5 of 5200 megahertz will cost you about $320. And that was for 32 gigabytes of RAM. But then they started producing more and more. In fact, the people actually ended up buying a lot of those kits when Elder Lake was out, and they ended up trying to resell them on eBay for an extraordinary amount of money. They were trying to sell it for almost like $1,200 for a kit, but there was people actually out there buying them. So, except now everything's been affected by AI to the point where it's pretty much gone to that full circle standpoint, to where everything has gone up quite a bit in intrinsic value. And it seems like it's just gone up since, and it's gone up to its proper value, so to say, because of course you have Micron that's involved in it, where they're just 100% focused on the HBMs. You have Samsung, and you also do have SK Hynix, all large companies that are focused on creating more wafers, but to a certain extent. They're not going to overproduce the wafers, because if they do, then that's oversupply. And then it's almost controlled to where they don't want the oversupply, because if they do, they can only make so much too. It's not like they can do it in one fab. They would also need another fab to do so. But pretty much everything has been bought out by a lot of these AI companies. Of course, you have Sam Altman that says he doesn't care if he's in the negatives. He'll keep spending as much as he can. Doesn't matter if he's broke or not. He will just keep buying these wafers. So it's not 1984, Chris. This is inflation fueled. So, Trump greenlighting the tech bros, spiked demand, and our inflation moved to tech. So what I'm shocked. Yes, I'm shocked about Razer too. I'm not, I'm telling you, I bet in 10 years, we wish we paid this price at the age of 50. I watch a lot of these change in price. What happened to my penny candy? Yeah, I just want to show you guys these server racks real quick. Razer server racks. Let's see. Here we go. Take a look, guys. See, you thought I was kidding. They've been aggressive. So they've been aggressive as well. But I mean, they'll set it to any standard. See, the biggest thing that comes to value when it comes to their server racks is that the fact that for those who are actually really interested in AI or LLMs, it's actually really unique because you can actually use pretty much your own OS in order to do this. And you can use a different type of programming models that you can actually develop your AI in. So this is what they're currently been trying to bring up: custom made racks or custom made servers, really. So have we been in this type of situation before, where aging technology that usually always starts dropping to the price due to upcoming new tech, and due to the upcoming new instead of raising in prices, consoles are a great example. 5 years into this gen, and they're trying to raise the price of consoles, looking at your Xbox higher than launch prices. This stuff should be going down. Yes, technically it should. It should be technically going down when it comes to a generation like PlayStation 5 Slim, or it comes with Xbox Slim, their version of it. Typically it does drop. I will buy one when that's a they go. I like that. I do like that. That's pretty funny. Yeah, speaking of which, you are absolutely right, Waffle Skater. They should technically drop. Instead of going up in price, they're going up about roughly about 20% in pricing when it comes to consoles. Typically when you first buy it, it should drop down quite dramatically till then. If you bought a perfect example is if you bought PlayStation 5 when it was brand new, we all know it was roughly about $500. It shouldn't be up to $600 now, which makes no sense because it's aging hardware and because of and it's cheaper to produce typically. And instead everything has raised up. So same thing with Xbox, same exact thing. They ended up raising up a price for the first time in history, and where this doesn't usually happen. When pricing goes up when it comes to hardware, it's not a good signal. Of course, AMD is developing, let me speak on this real quick, which is the Steam Machine. Steam Machine is coming out allegedly in the springtime. So I'm curious for everybody out there who is interested in the Steam Machine. In fact, I'll throw a poll out there because I am curious to see who is interested in this. So would you want a Steam Machine? So here you go. You can feel free to answer. You just put 1 or 2. So would you want a Steam Machine? So I'm just curious, out of everybody out there, would you be interested in getting something like a Steam Machine? Now, the Steam Machine is supposed to be released sometime in spring of 2026. Of course, the memory is going to play a large factor in pricing. They can't really promise anything when it comes to it. They can't say it's going to compete in console pricing. Originally, that's what they wanted to. They admitted to that, but they said it all depends on how they can deal with this memory situation. But I mean, you can't doubt Gabe. Steam's a Gabe. You cannot doubt him. So Jamal says, I am suspecting even if they release Nova Lake now in late of 2026 or even beginning of 2027. I feel like Nova Lake will get announced later this year. I think it'll happen in October. It's very typical of Intel to drop in October. If not, then it's truly a big change for Intel. It would, because the first time last year they haven't dropped anything. Usually they always drop that they always drop in October for new processors. But if they don't do it again this year, they are truly breaking the old Intel ways of dropping every October when it comes to processors. So This summer's prices will go down a little bit in the summer and then go up again. It'll be just like the stock market. It'll just go up and down. So we may not see the 60 series Super is already in question. Yes, 50 series Super, I don't think is going to happen. 60 series, they want to develop it, which is Rubin. Rubin will end up coming out eventually. It just won't be at the time expected as we all hoped, which is within 2027. That's when we all expected Rubin.
Macedonia_89 subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing, Macedonia. Wow, a lot of people are not interested in the Steam machine. Or it's just one person. So in order to vote, guys, you just put 1 or 2. Just to let you guys know. So Steam Deck OLED only. Yeah. You know what's interesting? Valve says that they do want to develop another Steam machine. But before they do a Steam machine, they also want to make sure that it is advanced in hardware. Because currently they feel like the hardware that is available right now when it comes to handhelds isn't good enough. They want to make sure that it is a large improvement compared to its predecessor. So that tells you a lot. They feel like they want to make sure that they end up getting a decent upgrade when it comes to your Steam machine. Ernesto, what's up? Guess who's in Vegas now? Unfortunately, it couldn't come in January. Oh, awesome. How's Vegas right now? Is it warmer? Was it warmer than I went? It was pretty damn cold when I was there. Good luck with Sony. Keep the PS6 less than the PS. That's right. There it is. There it is. There it is, Ricardo. Right there. You see what's sitting there? I'm pretty sure you can see that, Ricardo. Pricing is going to reverse by nice PCs back into the early 80s. Looking at the price to beat Mac. Kilobyte. Heard rumors NVIDIA 6000. Yes, I believe that too. I don't think the 6000 series will release until 2028. I think they're going to be 100% focused on AI. It's pretty obvious when they care about if you comment about if AI is slop or not. It's about 60. Oh, that's much better temps. When I was there, it was pretty cold. It was like roughly about I would have 32-degree days when I was in Vegas, but that was specifically at night. In the evening, in the day, it was like reaching probably about like 45, 50 degrees. But of course, that's I can't imagine how Vegas is like when it's warmer. It's probably much better. I heard it gets really hot though in the summer. So I have too many devices. But I can see the Steam machines as the final push for getting console gamers to PC. Yes, I hope that does happen. It would be really nice. You're getting, you know what's crazy? Can you believe like there's console wars still going on till this day? Console wars, it's insane. Like at this time, like you have both consoles release games on both. It doesn't matter. They release on both consoles. It doesn't matter anymore. So let's see. I have too many devices, but I can, let me see, 67. I doubt we're going to get a 60 series. I guess they'll be put on an APU. You know, the largest thing is they want to push out. Oh no, 30s. Yeah. Oh, it's definitely cold for us. That is cold for us here. You East Coast, I'm in Pittsburgh. I was originally I just gotta ask East Coast. Yes, East Coast, but very south East Coast. The G-Skill Flare 564GB kit is about $800 Newegg. That's not that, it's a better price, but down with the Xbox. I gotta say, let's go and check that out. I'm gonna check out Newegg right now, and we're gonna check out the SSD pricing in a bit too. So we're gonna check out the G-Skill Flare 64GB kit. Do you have any Z790 boards in stock on your end? All the mid-tier, high-end. I'll double check. I'll check once I get back onto Micro Center. Let's go. Let's go on Micro Center here. And I'll check real quick. Z790. I think we do. I'm pretty sure we do. So far, most people are not looking forward to Steam Deck. Not a lot of people that are fans of Steam Deck. I mean, not Steam Deck, Steam Machine right now. Because most of you guys, I'm sure, are PC gamers. Interesting thing about Steam Machine is you can install your own OS if you'd like. G-Skill, Flare, 64, G-Skill. Okay. So let me try taking away the Flare. Let's just go do this. We'll go into menu, components, and we'll go to memory, and we're going to go to desktop memory, and we're going to choose G-Skill, and we're going to go DDR5, and we're going 64, what was it, 6,000 megahertz? We'll just go 64 since we're not sure. Okay, so we'll apply that. Okay, so, and we're going to sort it by lowest price, $870. That is a better deal. CL34 actually. Okay, so that's why it's a little bit cheaper. It's CL34, and if you compare it to something like CL30, it'll be a little bit cheaper. But I mean, in the end, it ends up balancing itself out there. I think Steam Machine it will be. I agree. Not sure if this was asked, but how long could one run 16 gigabytes of RAM strictly for gaming? I'm guessing once. You know, the funny thing is, a lot of people out there who have console games. I mean, consoles like PS5, Xbox. Doesn't matter what console. And they're thinking that they're enjoying full out 4K when it comes to gaming. But the fact is that they're not. It's upscaled. So I hate to burst the bubble for anyone out there that thought they were getting the full experience of 4K gaming in a console, but it's just upscaled. So technically it's like having a 1080p video playing on your 4K TV. That's what you're doing really. It's just upscaling it with upscale technology. That's all that is. So again, if they end up doing it, this is what's interesting about the new consoles too, I gotta say. They spoke on it on the new consoles like this, that AMD is developing for the new Xbox. No big surprise there, right? They're obviously going to end up working with Sony as well. Now, when it comes to their new SoC, it's going to be practically similar to like a ARM processor. So it's going to have everything integrated. So instead of just having a dedicated GPU and a separate CPU, they're going to try to dedicate and put everything into one SoC. So they'll be like pretty much like M1 but onto a gaming console. Where like if you're familiar with any of the Mac processors, it'll be kind of similar to that. If you're not, it's practically designed as that you have your CPU, you have your GPU cores in there as well. Almost like Intel's Panther Lake, except it has RAM also built into it as well. So you're going to have RAM that's also stacked in there, and you do have, of course, let's see, your RAM and your NPU. If they put an NPU in, more than likely they will, because they're going to use it more for the computer models. So it's going to be practically a large SoC inside of consoles, which is the way it seems like it's going, instead of going for a GPU. So it's going to be like a custom SoC for both Sony and for Microsoft. So I found them. I get the container unchecked. Well, well, at least you found it. It's a lot better than trying to rig it on there. Meant to say slightly cheaper. My Chrome web browser use, and you know what's crazy? A big issue that happens when it comes to browse a lot less RAM if that's the case. But as you guys can currently see, when it comes to the pricing, it's obviously not pretty. Unfortunately, it's still very, very expensive if you're looking for a 64 gigabyte kit of RAM. Now, the lowest that we certainly found was that 870. Thanks for bringing that up here. Yes, RGBs are certainly important if you're looking for RAM. So again, that's an addition to your $870 there. Makes sense. So that's the big addition there. CL34, 6,000 megahertz for $870. Of course, you do have Micro Center, which I want to share the storage pricing because that's obviously not getting better in any way as well. Of course, if you go with the all solid state drive, just say, and we go with 990 Pro, 400. Oh, wow, it's gotten worse. Actually, it's gotten worse, guys. I hate to break that to you. So let me fix this so you guys can see it. Wow. That should be illegal. That is ridiculous. $400 for a NVMe. For 2 terabytes, that's a 990. That is insane. How much is the 9100 2 terabytes? $420. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely expensive. So just for $20 more, you can get PCI Express 5. So now, how's that make sense? It's a $20 price difference between PCI Express 4. $600 for you? That's insane. That is insane. I'm guessing, is it? Oh man. Oh, okay. Do you see signs of NVIDIA already slowing down and investing in other AI companies? If so, I think the rest of the they haven't slowed. They slowed down when it comes to investing in things like OpenAI. Now, I mentioned it in my prior video. Hopefully, you guys got to tune in on that about why I believe this AI bubble is going to deflate more than actually pop. It's just going to be more thoughts when it comes to purchasing AI, as they want to make sure that they end up seeing results. They spent billions of dollars on AI, and for not making any money because at this point, most people that do use AI, they're not going to spend the extra money to purchase something like ChatGPT Plus or any other programs out there, or any other AI developers such as like Perplexity. They're not going to pay the extra money. They'll just use it for free until they practically can't. I think it's at this point, it's always going to end up being free. You can get up to a certain amount of credit, as they call it, when you do use any type of AI program, but they're just not seeing any financial gain off of it, not just quite yet. So this is what's making companies such as NVIDIA doubt about spending so much money. And as you saw, Jensen Huang was very specific when he said that that when they said that they were going to invest the money into OpenAI, he said that it was going to be up to 100 billion, but he never said that he was going to give them $100 billion to invest into the company. So,
Eric, subscribe to the channel.
thank you for subscribing. 4K just to get 64. Yes, that sounds right. You have to remember, not a lot of people can get to a micro center, so some people would what gas would cost. Yes. That is true. There's only like 20 micro centers. Actually, I think it's less. There's less micro centers in the US. And then especially for everybody out there that are in areas like in places like Canada, or places like over in Europe, where it's not going to be as easy to get to a hard box store. So wouldn't the SoC be going backwards if every gen is supposed to be an improvement, meaning the fact dedicated GPU system resources would, yes, it's a way for them to cut cost. It is going backwards. But to be honest, as you know, if you have hardcore Xbox gamers and you do have hardcore PlayStation gamers, they're not going to care as much when it comes to the specifications. They will only care about specs if it's competing against the other console. So if, ironic as that sounds, then they will compete with each other. It should be more of a, they're going to not call it as so much as a backwards move. They're going to call it more revolutionary, as it's going to require less hardware to put together. Of course, you can have more issues that go wrong, but again, we're going to see how they decide to go ahead and go forward with that plan. So Waffle Skater says, what scares me is how expensive SSDs have gotten. It is something goes wrong with your SSD and your RMA. It's going to be just like the case with the lighting enhancement kits, like where people sent in RAM thinking that they were going to get it fixed, and then all of a sudden they get back a lighting enhancement kit that looks just like their RAM. I wouldn't be surprised if that started to go on even more. So I had to make my own GUI for my Cleave for so I can organize my projects and stuff. So I'm doing some nice. Oh, that's my internet company. It's like up to 1 gigabits per second. You'll get half of it. Yeah, I know it stresses me out. I wish I can just go fiber already. It sucks to know that they have it here. It's just Comcast like owns all the rights currently till like I think up to a certain date, which I hope ends up getting removed somewhat soon because I really need fiber, man. Prices in the US is way cheaper, like 32 gigabytes DDR5 in the US is the price of 3200 megahertz of DDR4. I mean, DDR4 is quite expensive here too, though. It's nearly the price of DDR5, so it's like for most people that are trying to get DDR4, it's not that much of a savings. It's not going to be that far off. And they were going to stop creating DDR4. Samsung announced it like back of last year. But I think they didn't expect this to happen because they were going to actually phase it out. Can you imagine if there was no DDR4 at all? So Amazon return policy for SSDs. I mean, have you guys noticed when you return stuff on Amazon now, it's gotten a whole lot more strict. Like it's giving you, instead of just like a straight return, making it nice and easy, they give you a full out questionnaire about asking, they'll ask you 10 different questions about your return before you can actually return the product. It'll ask you, is it open? Did you get to smell it? Did you get to open it up out the plastic? Did you try it 1 or 2 times? Did you get to... It's just insane, the questions that they ask you now. And a lot of it has to do with these bogus returns that they've been getting. True store, but thermal plate on my brand new 99... Oh, oh man, that's rough. You know how people put fake rust and scratch stickers on cars to keep them from getting stolen or broken into? Soon we'll be labeling large RAM sticks with low values to 1 megabyte DDR. Yes, that's an idea. That's definitely an idea. You know, the funny thing is, no longer when you go to a pawn shop or any type of jewelry store, you're going to, instead of walking over to the case where it's all jewelry and gold and silver, you're going to definitely see encased DDR5. And you're going to see cases such as this. I don't know if you guys saw this before. I think it's pretty funny. G-Skill lighting enhancement box for RAM. This is hilarious. This is going to be the new wave. So you get this. You get your RAM, right? And you can plug it in. You can literally plug... you can literally plug in your RAM here and it will light up. So if you want to, that's going to be like that's going to be like the showpiece, like when it comes to like stores. They're going to have this in a glass case where it's going to have like it's going to have detection, motion detection, and it's going to have lasers for you to prevent any thieves. But isn't that insane? It's just to have something like this, and it has the USB plug-in. You just plug it right in. So fandom guys, I also do have another announcement to make. Importantly for everyone that is in here, I will also mention this on to stream on Saturday as well. Oh my god, nice auctioneers. Yeah, exactly. So so for next Wednesday, I will be swapping out the streams for now for between about 6:45 to 7 p.m. So it's going to be 1 hour 45 minutes to 1 hour later than my usual streams on Wednesday. And on Saturday for next week, I won't be able to stream that day. I will have to be having a friend down that Saturday and introducing him to all the different spots. He's vacationing here in Florida, so I will be available that Saturday, unfortunately. But don't worry, the stream will go on this Saturday. But instead, I do have silver lining news for you guys too, is that I will also be doing a stream. Instead of doing a stream on Saturday, I'm going to do a Tuesday and Wednesday stream. So I'll be like a back-to-back stream. And I will be, and we will be this about, again, same timing. It'll be around 6:45 to about where I start to stream. And then it will go into 7 depending on the timing, but 6:45 to 7 for next Tuesday and Wednesday. This Saturday the same stream will continue Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. So this is all Eastern time. If you're curious, I will also send out a reminder for everybody out there, and for everyone who hasn't joined in our wonderful Discord, make sure you do. If you haven't heard about the recent controversy of Discord, there has been some issues, I guess, with their Face ID, where you have to scan your face in order for you to be part of Discord's community. Hopefully things will get better. I hope that they decide to pull out on this. Also, they're requiring people to verify their IDs using your ID card. If that's the case, we may be switching servers. Instead of going into Discord, we might be going to TeamSpeak. I think it's like within the next month, if Discord continues going this way, as we do have some unhappy members about this issue. So we will open up a different server on TeamSpeak, and everybody, of course, is more than welcome to join the TeamSpeak server instead. So, am I rocking the Steam machine? It all depends if I manage to get one, and I will be looking it over. Of course, as you know, as we PC builders, we absolutely have no need for it. But for those who are curious about how it performs compared to console-wise, I am curious about that. We do have a standard PS5 we can put up next to it, and of course we do have PCs that we will put up against the Steam machine. So if that's the case, if we do manage to get one, we will be running some hardcore tests on it and see how well it does perform. Valve also mentions that the Steam machine will also perform very well, even though it only contains about 16 gigabytes of RAM. I think the maximum they said that they'll have pushed in there is up to 24 gigabytes because of cost. So if anyone is looking for some Trident Z Royal display boxes, here you go. In a wonderful case like this, a wonderful box. But you're also asking to get robbed if anyone is looking for something like this. So it looks like most people are not interested in the Steam machine, and I can understand perfectly why. For anyone that is joining in the stream late, bro, I am a dumbass. I took outside of the case GPU bracket screws and put them on the riser mount, and God, I swear, that is funny. You know what it is? It's the overthinking process. So for anyone that's coming in or just joining into the stream, we did open up the box. Thanks to Gigabytes for sending this over. This will go into Project Aura. So we will be using this GeForce RTX 5070 Ti. We are going to end up building this PC very soon as we get news on this Arrow Lake refresh. That's all we'll probably need. I think that's it. All we're going to need. For anything else, we will also go and do a Micro Center stream eventually soon as we get wind of this whole Arrow Lake refresh. Again, so far with the components we definitely have a Gigabyte. We have a Gigabyte Aorus Master Z890 that we will build with, along with the Gigabyte RTX 5070 Ti WindForce Overclock Edition. Definitely a great GPU to have, especially if you don't want to spend a ton of money on a GPU, because again, 5090 is not going to be needed for everybody. And if you're trying to save a bit of money, trying to go one of the top GPUs, a 5070 Ti can certainly fill those voids, as we're going to run some benchmarks and everything with it as well. We can even bench it up against the 5090 just to see how well it goes, even in regular modes such as 1440. What's up, Steven? Welcome in. Just to update you on the news, we will be going. So also another big thing, 8 o'clock on Saturdays will be the member stream in the morning. which will be between about like 15 to 30 minutes, and then we'll swap into the regular stream for the rest of the day. And then when it comes to, but for the following Saturday, I won't be available. But I will be switching this stream for the next week for Tuesday and Wednesday instead of Wednesday and Saturday. So I want to see a 5070 Ti EVGA. Absolutely, it would be wonderful. Have you used? No, I have not. What is your thoughts of it? A friend bought a RTX 5080 ASUS Tough Gaming. Oh, really? Isn't it crazy just how crazy the pricing is now? I think for this one specifically for gigabytes, I think this is currently, I have to look up the pricing for it, but let me see. I'll look up the same exact one, gigabytes WindForce 5070 Ti. And it is 1,000. So it is 1,000. So at least it's at even 1,000. It's not over it. Unfortunately, they're not available at Micro Center at our location in Miami. That might be available in your location. Of course, we could check out Newegg and see if they have it available. But this is the one that we currently do have. And again, this is a great option for anyone out there who isn't looking to spend a ton of money, but able to purchase a GPU. They do also have it at Newegg. They do have them available for 1,000. So that's a great option for you guys that needs to, say, upgrade a GPU or wants to use it for, or Amazon. There you go. Amazon's also a great option. We'll definitely post it more. We'll do an unboxing video of this, and we'll take a deeper dive into it soon. I like it for code for video games and server stuff. For them, now I just use AI and type what. The thing is, I also threw out the question too out there if anybody is willing to give up AI in order to be able to get to RAM pricing and PC hardware back to normal pricing. But the funny fact is, most people are not willing to switch back. Kilobyte. So at least it's $1,000. Just kill me already. Some 5060 Ti's are reaching that point. It's insane. Is there anything more nerve-wracking than snapping the GPU? I think a lot of people get nervous about snapping the GPU, to be honest. Especially because of the way it is, the way it's like designed. You're worried about the PCIe bus not really lining up correctly with the gold fingers, and you're afraid of easily snapping it. I remember in Miami Beach, me and my girl at the time. Oh yeah, all the way from Key West to Pitt. That's insane. How was that ride? That's quite the ride out there. I use AI for work purposes and school. Our surgery robots have AI now. That's insane. That's pretty dope though. That is pretty dope to see. What's it like? I know it's precision perfect. It has to be. The computer has a RTX 5060 Ti, 16 gigabytes. I paid $430 last summer. Oh, dope. Yeah, that's always I'm sure it was a memorable trip. Especially, I know how cold it is recently. I have friends up north too, and they've been letting me know how cold it is. I feel bad for them. So, but yeah, so we are going to do this build with Gigabyte's Oris, the Project Oris, which was going to be Gigabyte's RTX 5070 Ti, along with the Z890 Oris Master. Da Vinci, that is dope. What's up, Pertrubo? What's going on? So, we are doing that build with that motherboard, this graphics card, and of course, we do have quite a big components. Full list will be announced soon, and when it does, I will certainly let you guys know. 2005. Yes. No, I wasn't. In 2005, I was, believe it or not, 2005 is when I graduated. Oh, no. 2006 is when I graduated. So I worked in film, and AI used is obviously widespread, but they tried to hide it because of current public backlash. Oh, really? It's crazy how advanced the technology's gotten when it comes to that. Like I've seen Higgsfield, that's been crazy, insane. Like you could really do like full out movies if you wanted to. Oh man. Okay. That's a different story. Class of 79, damn. Nothing wrong with that. That's just wisdom. So, fam bam, guys, I appreciate everybody for coming into the stream. Now, remember, for the next week, again, the streams will start at 6:45 to 7 o'clock p.m. I will be doing it on Tuesday and Wednesday. Saturday stream will go on as normal. It will be member stream in the morning for 8 o'clock to around 8:15 to 8:30, and then it will go on to regular stream until they're on out. So, fam bam, guys. You lucky bastard. 60, that's like scoring gold right there. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you all for joining in. Hopefully things certainly get better for us who are looking for PC hardware and doing PC builds. Look, people don't hate AI. They hate it that it used to basically fire people. Yeah. You know who hates it? A lot of artists. They really hate AI. But I think I'm sure you've seen it. Just don't use AI. That's what they'll tell you. So, fam bam, guys, thank you guys so much for joining into this wonderful, wonderful stream. I really enjoy everybody out there. Hopefully, you guys join in on Discord, join in on our wonderful, wonderful Twitch, and also on YouTube as well. Looking forward to see everybody on Saturday. Hopefully I have better news to bring to everybody on Saturday. And also another fair reminder to everybody out there, please update your BIOS if you are on an X3D board. There is a new BIOS available from many motherboards out there, so make sure to keep an eye out for it. Thank you guys again so much for joining into this wonderful stream, and have a great night or a great day, depending on what time it is around the world for you guys. And see you guys on Discord or YouTube or on Twitch.